Asics, hear all about it. Welcome to today's Asics running shoe unboxing. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. If you love Asics, if you hate Asics, and if you love good value, then this video is for you. Let's go. Welcome. My name is Pamela, and although I'm a business owner and the founder of Graphene Business Law, a virtual law firm working with clients and entrepreneurs in the province of Ontario, Canada, on this channel, we talk about nothing, or maybe almost nothing, having to do with law, and instead focus a little bit more about the personal happenings and adventures in my life. We've talked about everything from driving a Rolls Royce to luxury hotels and accommodations, food, shopping, with a lot more to come, mind you, but we've covered so many categories. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Asics running shoe. And there's a reason that on a lifestyle channel, I wanted to talk about this shoe. For those of you that are returning viewers, you know I like to talk a little bit business in every single one of my videos. I have a hard time just keeping it at surface level and, you know, ooh, look at the fashion. I like to, you know, take it a little deeper than that with you and pass on some of my learnings, if you will, and also offer some honest reviews as to the products themselves. Now, the Asics running shoe. Why am I talking about a running shoe? First of all, these running shoes are at what I would say, not necessarily a luxury, luxury price point can mean different things to different people, considering that you can go to a Winners or Marshalls and find a running shoe for $30, and these running shoes are each at about the $200 range. Plus, you know, I'm filming in Canada, so we have the 13% tax on everything. You know, these shoes each came to about $250, give or take. So it's, you know, $500 of running shoes in these two boxes, which in today's time and today's economy, I, as a business lawyer, am going to tag as a luxury product. That being said, though, as a business person, I'm going to talk in this video about why these shoes are some of the best value you can get, in addition to designs that are, you know, palatable, pleasant, okay? They have a lot of options to choose from. Now let's start. I chose a more function-based, so like more of an everyday running shoe and more of a cool running shoe. Cool means something different to everybody, so don't come for me if this version of cool doesn't match your version of cool. I got plenty of other threads in the closet, so don't you worry. This is not my coolest pieces, but they're goodies nonetheless. So one of them was ordered from a Canadian luxury retailer that sells Dolce & Gabbana, Hermes, things like that, called Sense with 2 S's. And the other one was ordered straight from the Asics website itself. That's why they're packaged differently. This one seems to be ordered from the Asics website itself. Obviously, I'm going to hide the other side of the box with the address and everything. But I'll take my knife that I just cooked garlic shrimp with and cut this box. I think, you know, it's worth commenting on the difference of the packagings themselves. I always wonder when I see this as a business person and a human being too. You know, I happen to live on planet Earth just like you. But I wonder when I see this, which one was better for the environment here? Like, was this healthier for the planet because there's no box outside of the box? Or is this worse for the planet because it's plastic and this is cardboard? Let me know in the comments if you know. Anyway, so we're gonna tear this like animals, because we don't have time to be gentle about it. And this running shoe, okay, this I can show, there's no personal information there. This running shoe is the 8.5. You know, shoe size fluctuates. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I had running shoes spanning like 4 different sizes at the same time. So for what it's worth, if you've got a shoe size fetish, this is an 8.5. And coming with what I imagine is the receipt, which we won't look at, and the paper, you know, situation wrapping. And of course, I told you this is more of my like utility everyday running shoe. So this is what this looks like, brand new. Okay, you're gonna think, I don't know what you'll think, but why I go with Asics? Okay, one of the biggest reasons I go with them, and again, as a lawyer and a business person, I know to ask like questions that a lot of other people might not be asking. So I've talked to some of the top players in the shoe industry, some of them even through being my clients, and asked why, you know, a Nike or an Adidas or a Reebok, why the average player in the shoe industry makes such a poor shoe. And the answer always comes to money, right? It costs them less. One thing I like about Asics, although the average Asics shoe is priced higher than the average, you know, Reebok or Nike shoe, it withstands the test of time, okay? Two features of the shoe that I love, and I'm going to talk about them in non-like science terms, is how hard the shoe is. Not like, you know, wooden peg over here, but how hard in terms of, you know, when you take those shoes and they fold like this? This is not that. And a crazy feature that most running shoes on the market fold like a cheap chair is the heel. Look at this. I'm literally bending my finger in unnatural ways just to prove that this shoe has the best back heel support of any shoe on the market. But what this does, it's not just a feature, right? This isn't the equivalent of this being red as opposed to black. This is a structural integrity feature that will give you value if we're talking business, right? It's the story of, if you've studied any sort of economics or, you know, value perceptions, there's a story about the $210 shoe, and it talks about back in military times, I think World War II or something, you know, men would choose whether to buy a $10 shoe for their winters in war, or they would choose whether to buy the $50 shoe. Now, for those, you know, the delta between 50 and 10, and mind you, this is 1940s money, so it's a really big difference in today's currency. The delta between 50 and 10, even back then, you know, if you don't have, if all you have is $10, all you have is $10. You don't have $50 if you don't have $50. So, you know, finances, of course, determine a lot of our choices in life. And most men could only afford the $10 shoe. But the $10 shoe would rip every winter. So the men that bought the $10 shoe had to buy a $10 shoe every winter, you know, for, you know, however long they worked, whether in the war or outside of war as well. So it gave the example that the $10 shoe over 20 winters became a $200 shoe. You know, it's expensive to be poor. It's expensive to make poor financial decisions. Even if you're not poor, you can make poor financial decisions. The $50 shoe lasted 20 years long. It was, you know, you might think of it as a delta of $40, which is not much, but, you know, economically speaking, value speaking, you should think about it as shoes that cost 500% more than the $10 shoe. That shoe lasted all 20 winters. So somebody that bought it right the first time paid $50 for 20 years worth of shoes. Somebody that stayed on the $10 shoe train owing to poverty ended up paying $200 for shoes. Same thing here. You can buy a $50 pair of Reebok. Shoes like that, I don't know if they last me 2 months. Shoes like this, wait for it. Shoes like this, its predecessor has lasted me over 2 years. And prior to this shoe, and yeah, this is, you know, the condition of my 2-year-old shoe. I'm not saying it's pristine, because if it was, why would I buy this one? But prior to this, I would always tell people, like, every 2 to 3 months, I'm buying new running shoes. And to be clear, I'm talking strictly about like the everyday shoe here, okay? The everyday casual shoe. I'm not talking about, you know, that pair of stilettos you wear once on Christmas every year. This has been the workhorse of my last 2 years. And look at the bend. Look at how little it's wavered compared to day one. I could, if I wanted to, push 6 more months with this shoe. At this point in my career and at this point in my life, you know, as reluctant as I am to overlook, you know, the value proposition of goods, I do feel that once we're getting, you know, the holy situation coming through, you know, I do feel less guilty changing the shoe, although I am aware that structurally speaking, this shoe still has almost the full integrity of the day one shoe. So it's still not something that's easy to throw out as somebody that's, you know, become successful, so to speak, from absolutely freaking nothing. It's not easy to throw this out, but I did want to show, you know, I feel better throwing it out knowing that its predecessor has lasted almost 2 years. So when I buy this, I know this is that piece of crap Reebok from the winners, or Adidas or Nike, that when I touch it like this, it's gonna go. Okay, I'm noticing here there's like a little black scratch on the tongue, but I probably won't return it just because of that. But anyway, so this is this shoe, you know, the color, so long as it's like a bright, happy color, I'm okay with it. This color is not a fixation of mine. It's not my dying passion. It's a bright, happy color. As a general rule of thumb, I avoid wearing black or really dark colors. So this fits that bill, structural integrity 100%, and I know it's a really good value shoe. Now, we have, so by the way, 10 out of 10. If you're looking for a running shoe to also better your health and consider it like an investment in your everyday health, stand up better, less back problems, less knee problems, less hip bone problems, all of that, I strongly recommend the Asics. I used to go back and forth between Asics and Saucony, but I find that Asics is more consistent overall. Saucony, I was having a harder and harder time with the back, the heel support. And when I asked, you know, some of the internal team at Saucony why that was, I'm thankful that they were honest, but they said it's just a money thing. You know, why bother making it nice when people will buy it when it's less nice? So, as many things or most things these days, it's harder and harder to hold, you know, that standard, but I'm thankful that Asics still does. Now this situation, this box is from Sense, that more luxury Canadian retailer. So we have here a box within a box with paper around the box. Again, let me know what's better. Like, this looks like a lot, it's an overwhelming amount of paper, but I don't know, is it better because it's paper? It has spilled out of the box, so I guess I opened it the wrong direction. We have a freshly baked pie here that when opened from the oven is nice and warm. Okay, again, an 8.5. This is a different style, and you'll see, like, this was more of a switch it up kind of running shoe, and you'll see what I mean as well. Like, it's brighter in colors, different fabrics, so it's something that I'd be less likely to wear to, like, you know, a muddy walk or something, because it's going to be a lot harder to clean. This one has the leathers, it has the suedes, it has the white fabrics. It's just a, you know, brighter product overall. But this is this shoe, and I was so curious because prior to buying this shoe I had never touched it in a store. The other one I touched over and over again every day on my feet, and it was $180, the other running shoe, when I bought it. Did I tell you the model, by the way? Gel Cumulus, I did. The other one was $180 when I bought it 2.5 years ago, and still around $180 today, like still around the same price. So I appreciated that as well, because, you know, for the poor man, that stuff at the bottom goes up every year. Inflation, inflation, inflation. But, you know, once you enter different categories, I think companies know that they'll have a much harder time getting certain prices past a more sophisticated consumer, which I imagine is going to, for example, Asics versus Nike, that's bombarded in our faces on commercials every day. And they stay true to that. They didn't increase the price. This one, I don't know what it's called. Gel Sonoma Safari Khaki, okay? Or khaki, depending on how you want to say it. I was curious, never having seen the shoe in store. I don't know if it's like a new model, how the back would be, because it's more fashionable. Depends on your perception, right? You might think this is 10 times uglier than the last one. I think it's a little bit more, you know, textured, like has a few more design features. So that's what I mean by more fashionable. Like, definition of fashion in so many ways is just math, and at least to me. And I thought this one was a bit more fashionable, so I was wondering if they'd have sacrificed or compromised the quality. It's just as hard of a shoe with just as amazing of art support, and I'm really, really excited to try this on as well. So all of my comments about Asics, the brand, obviously are going to apply to this shoe as well, so there's no reason in me saying the same thing twice. And I'm not saying this is the most fashionable shoe on earth. The most fashionable shoe, more like my taste right now, in case you're curious as to what that's like, is the Balmain, I believe, Unicorn shoe. I'll link it here. I'll put a photo up here as I'm talking. That is a shoe that really, really excites me. This one in particular, I really love the fun play on, you know, the fresco sort of finish imputed on the shoe, with the very cheek and tongue, you know, newer style straps and crackling features, and the shape of the shoe. My God, the shape of the shoe is really interesting to me. So, you know, that is a shoe that I think is the most fashionable running shoe right now for me. Okay, there's other ones, you know, with sparkles and diamonds and things like that, but that one is the one I have my eye on right now as like a special purchase. But these are still luxury shoes through and through, I would say. And you know, it's amazing that they're luxury shoes that you can get value out of. The Balmain shoe I just talked about, if and when I purchase that shoe, that's the kind of thing I know I'm going to be wearing. I don't know if I'll wear it 10-20 times a year. This is the kind of thing, I mean, having just shown you the first, you know, the teal, the light blue ones, these shoes are the kind of thing that I anticipate wearing hundreds to thousands of times. So we need to talk about the value that brings. The takeaway I want from this video, first of all, if we're gonna keep it superficial, I guess this is a fashion video, a luxury fashion video, and the takeaway is that you should buy Asics as your next running shoe if you can afford it, even if it's a little bit of a stretch for you. I feel it is a shoe that will last you much longer than any other counterpart of its kind, while providing you with more benefits of any counterpart of its kind, which naturally imputes a higher value to the shoe than any other running shoe I have encountered, having tried all the brands at most stores. I'm not saying I've tried every brand on earth, because that would likely be impossible, but of all the brands I have tried, you know, this is the winner through and through for all the reasons I've provided in this video. And that's the second part of the takeaway, I guess. It's the value conversation I had in this video. I hope is helpful. I know there's viewers that watch these videos. I know there's teenagers watching these videos from the demographics on the back end. I know there's 65-year-olds watching these videos. So wherever you are on that spectrum, I hope the conversation about value has been helpful for you here. And again, thank you so much for watching this channel and for supporting our channel. It's been growing in a lovely way. You know, please give this video a big thumbs up. Click subscribe on the video. If you have another running shoe brand that you think comes close or even beats Asics, let me know. Maybe I'll review it next. And of course, continue to watch. We're going to do a lot more videos. The channel is still very, very much in its infancy. I don't know if this channel has 10 videos yet, right? So we're going to keep growing. Luxury, you know, skincare, automobiles, accommodations, travel, vacations, food, all of it. Whatever you can think of at that luxury sector, we're going to keep experiencing it together, while also providing some commentary that I think there's a bit of a blind spot for on the internet. It's one thing to talk to you through the burnt orange finish on this shoe, and it's another thing to talk to you, you know, and add value to this conversation. And I hope this video has added some value to your experience, to your YouTube viewing experience. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.